it's telling me that it's going live. So you should hopefully see something that's popping up.
Yep, we're there.
There you go. All right, cool. So, hey, everybody, it's TJ and Fish live in MLO Net. One of these days, I'll figure out the fancy border things. Andrew and I keep going back and forth on it. My tech skills are getting slightly better because at least I figured out how to get TJ on the screen and to stream with you guys today, right? So we wanted to pop in. I think we might have set a reminder for you guys at 1, but just based on today, we said let's jump in a little bit early. And I believe we wanted to discuss some of the Facebook ad changes. We know a lot of you guys are out there running ads on Facebook. We know some of you are doing Google, some of you are paying for leads as well. But either way, want to do a quick Q&A. We know that TJ is really a master at this stuff, is really good at not only understanding how it works, but teaching others. And I know that we haven't had him on screen for a while, but we just wanted to pop in and share some tips and tricks and some information about the changes as well. Does that sound about right, buddy?
Yeah, other than the whole master of this stuff, I appreciate the kind words, but yeah, I think I'm just pretty good at, finding the information that's out there, and then just finding a way to kind of, share it with folks in a way that they understand.
The broadcaster, the Ron Burgundy of the lead world, right?
Right, absolutely. That's 100%.
Whatever I give you, you're going to read.
Right. So here's the big thing. Let's just kind of jump right in, right? So ever since the whole, data security, information security thing popped in a couple, months ago, we've been seeing stuff about how, Facebook's changing, how difficult it's going to be to go ahead and get your leads running. And then there's the announcement that, Facebook's on Axiom, and for those who don't know, that's a third-party provider, data provider. And then there's, effective, I think it's June 30th, a lot of the targeting data that we utilize, the filters that we utilize, whether it's in real estate or whether it's in mortgages, are going away, right? So likely to move, renter, someone who lives in an apartment, all that kind of fun stuff, first-time home buyers going away within Facebook. So I've been seeing, many, the sky is falling, this doesn't want to work, you're out of luck, you run ads, that type of thing, posts lately, and just want to kind of share with everyone, it's not necessarily true, right? There are some very effective workarounds, some very effective ways that you can actually use or go out and build an audience today to go ahead and prepare yourself for those changes come July 1. That's just, just kind of what we want to talk about real quick today. To let folks know, if you are running ads, you're okay. If you're planning to run ads, you're going to be okay. Trust me, Facebook makes so much money off of advertising. And I'm pretty sure real estate, how to build a business, and how to build a consulting business are probably the 3 biggest advertisers on Facebook. I don't think they're going away anytime soon. So, Great Fish, did I miss anything there?
No, I think that that in my opinion, perhaps the opposite, where folks are going to continue to dump money into it, and Facebook, even though they're changing the game up a little bit, they're not going to cut off their revenue stream like that. They're just changing it to meet some of the privacy laws and things like that. But there will be a way to attract and to come up with affordable ads. They're making too much money right now to completely change the game to the point where nobody uses them anymore. It just doesn't make sense.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. So I mean that's the thing, and look, we ran successful ads before we had all these these third party targeting data in there. We will again, but like I said, it's definitely not sky's falling. I think we're actually going to get a little bit more effective, because I think what's going to happen is, as the amateurs and the people who don't necessarily take the time to learn and spend the time testing and figuring out what works, as they lack success, they're going to go away, and that just is going to go ahead and make it just a little bit more of an even playing field for the rest of us. So, all right. So the first thing we'll talk about is the magic Facebook pixel, right? So everyone that we speak to, Fish, thinks that the Facebook pixel is like this magic thing that's going to go ahead and transform their business. I hear from people all the time, like, man, something's wrong with my pixel because my ads just aren't hitting, type of thing. But really, you take a look at it, you're like, well, you don't have your pixel turned on, and 2, has nothing to do with your ad not hitting. It's that ungodly image that you're using. Type of thing. So what is a Facebook pixel? Fish, you want to answer that, or you want me to answer it?
I answer it and sometimes get it a little bit twisted, but I like trying to answer it. The Facebook pixel is really just I think of it as the cookie. You know, it's the internet record that you've been to a particular site, you've landed somewhere, and now there's a record that you have been there. So if you're an internet marketer, you can quote unquote capture that pixel. You can use that to put your ad or your message in front of somebody by re-advertising, by putting a similar or slightly different message to that same audience through the use of a pixel, because folks like Facebook and Google will allow you to use that pixel to serve more ads, something like that, right?
Sure. Yep. That's confusing though. So
know,
basically,
like
the pixel is just a piece of HTML code. Fish, you reference it, a cookie, right? That just kind of tracks what pages you go on and what you're looking at and what your activity is. So the example I always give is, you're on, let's say a snowstorm's coming, and I give this example because it's legitimately happened to me. Snowstorm was coming. I went to the Home Depot website looking for snow shovels. Got bored. Went to the Baltimore Ravens website to read about the Ravens, and there was an ad for the snow shovel that I looked at. Right. So basically, Home Depot had that cookie in there. Saw what I was looking at, and then just put that ad back in front of me in a different place. So we can do the same thing. And Facebook makes it extremely easy because they give you your pixel. Your pixel's super easy to get ahead and get started. You just literally turn it on, right? There's tons of stuff you can do with it, but it's as basic as turning it on. And then you can utilize that to build your audience. So you can build an audience of people that you can target, retarget. Plus, Facebook allows you to build a lookalike audience. So let's say that you're using, a system like Listing Booster, right? So Listing Booster allows you to put that pixel in. Hey, Fish, how'd that come about?
I believe there was a point in time where Kevin Bilberry was sitting on a hangout, much like you and I were, and we started talking about pixels and how important they were. And we all, I guess, group think, we all together decided, wow, wouldn't it be nice if Listing Booster had the ability to track folks that were clicking on properties, so that maybe the loan officers of America could put some of their marketing efforts, or help agents put their efforts in front of folks that were actually actively looking at houses. So I believe we had a couple one-on-one discussions with you and I, Kevin, and I believe we did a group discussion with many of you that are in this group as well several years ago, where we just, I guess we could say that we
just hammered them and said, look, you guys need to have this.
We lobbied them. We were lobbyists for change.
Right? Here's the cool thing about Listing Booster, and this is where most people use Listing Booster incorrectly. So what do we always say? Fish, I saw you reference in the post today, right? Sell at home, not the loan. So it's thanks to HGTV and all these other shows, real estate's sexy, right? So you put these posts out there, you post your Listing Booster pages in groups and marketplace, wherever you post them in, and everyone's focused on capturing that data, right?
If I just had the email and the Listing Booster, then the phone number, then I would just magically close 10 more deals a month because I have the phone number, and I can program a robot to text that person until they yield, and submit and sign up with me. Okay.
Right. And that's awesome, right? It's an awesome way to build a database. It's an awesome way to market to your database. But more importantly, what it's allowing you to do, it's allowing you to build an audience, right? The people who in a certain area who are interested in this certain type of home. So you build that audience, you build that pixel, then you build that lookalike audience that is, common to these people. And then you have this audience that you can in turn start sending your actual ads to, your true call to action style ad. So it could be on a mortgage, it could be on real estate, whatever it is that you're trying to sell, right? So it could be the home buyer list that so many people put out there. We do too. It could be an actual opt-in for a mortgage. We run those ads. It can be specific to a property or to a listing.
It's that concept, right? That funnel concept where, they start out here and then they kind of move along. Well, some folks, they think this funnel is just literally like one step from top to bottom. Like, I put an ad out there, and all of a sudden I got a client that's ready to apply for a loan and close.
Put that out there, I send some emails, and boom, here we go.
Exactly.
Like we have
building that high level audience is what we're referring to here, so that you can go back to that audience and funnel it down or tune in or focus on the folks that are most likely to apply with better calls to action. Perhaps they see your brand. One thing we talk about a lot in Leads Academy is the idea of keeping your brand in front of that audience so that they start becoming familiar with it, and they're much more likely to opt in or to reach out after seeing the brand over and over. I mean, why do you think folks reach out to Rocket and Quicken? Because they've seen the brand over and over. So
Right.
we don't have a brand as an LO. Nobody knows who we are. But if I get this magic ad copy, all of a sudden someone's going to trust me based on one post? No. But if you have that pixel, that audience, and you can stay in front of them more than once, then they're much more likely to opt in and move forward. Something like that.
Right. Yeah, and that's something we talk about a lot, is the fact that the more people that see your brand, we call it the foundational piece of it, right? Running the inexpensive lead ad stuff. I always call it the Zillow strategy. People start calling it Zillow killer, but the standard home opt-in type leads. People getting a list or looking for a particular property using lead ads. The functionality of that's not necessarily to get a ton of leads, even though those leads work and they convert and they're inexpensive and you can do a bunch of stuff with them. But it's about building a brand. It's about building an audience that you can actually go ahead and take your more of your traditional mortgage style opt-in type ads, long form as we like to call them, right? And run it back to them. That way you have more success with that style ad. So that's why it's so important to build the audience, especially with some of this Axiom data going away right here. So that's one side. Like you said, running that pixel, using Listing Booster. But really, it's anything that you can do to get that pixel to fire, which means somebody lands on the page, you have that HTML code embedded, right? It can be a landing page, it can be Listing Booster. I think List Reports offers something like that. I could be wrong. I'm not a List Reports client.
I was talking to Andrew in San Diego when we were out there on the 18th and 19th. Andrew from Lead Pops. Pretty much everything he does has the pixel.
Yep, Lead Pops has it now.
So somebody clicks on that page and they don't fill it out, you got their pixel, and you can put the page in front of them again.
Yep. So again, very simple way to go ahead and build an audience that you can target, and then you can build this lookalike audience. Because look, maybe you get 200 or 300 or 400, whatever it is. You build that lookalike audience, and that can become thousands, right? So it's pretty simple. So the other way they kind of work with this, it is, again, I'm talking about kind of Listing Booster because that's something that I use. But there are many options that are similar to this. It is that full opt-in piece, right? Where you're posting it out there, you get people to opt in, you're collecting their name, you're collecting their email address, upload that as a custom audience. Right? You upload that as a custom audience. Let's say you have 300 people that have opted in. They'll upload that into Facebook. You go to Power Editor, you go to Ads Manager, Audiences, build an audience, you upload that file as a CSV file. Go ahead, throw that in there. Once again, build that lookalike audience from there. It's going to give you, it's assuming, that you're targeting, you're putting this listing in the right groups, right? That, where people that are interested in these homes will be. It gives you the opportunity to go ahead and just build that out, and put more people out there. So I think that's a really, really simple way to go ahead and do it. And frankly, you can combine the two because you can run multiple audiences. What else do we have here as far as, all right.
One thought on that custom audience. I mean, we have some LOs that use their realtor database and their past client database to build that custom audience as well, and try to perhaps find more folks that are as similar to their current clients as possible. And like I see Todd is on the call right now. Todd's a straight up referral guy, and he's crushing it right now. And he always talks about how good his life is. Let's understand he's been in the business a long time and probably made some mistakes along the way. But someone like Todd could take his audience of well qualified higher end clients and just stay in front of them. Perhaps build an audience of like friends in the same area, in that same geographic area, if you wanted to go back and run ads based on a radius. But he could ask Facebook to help him find more of the same type of clients in the same area, and put his face in front of them, so that he just, next thing you know, he's everywhere. But he's not everywhere to everyone. He's everywhere to the folks that meet his criteria. He's everywhere to his ideal audience, which is really, that's a huge marketing secret right there.
Yeah. So, Facebook gives us so many opportunities to go ahead and target the people that we want to target. So we just need to be a little more creative these days than it was. We couldn't just say, hey, we're first-time home buyers that currently rent that are this. That's who we want. It's going to be a little bit different than that. So,
I got one thing to add to this, and I haven't shared this with you, but it came up when we were teaching class in San Diego, and it was no, this was good. Andrew Paul actually shared this, and he mentioned that sometimes when you're talking about targeting, like I'm targeting veterans, that the connotation on that sometimes doesn't seem necessarily to portray the right message. You're not really trying to target people; you're trying to attract them. And he said so. So if you're putting these efforts together, it's not just the energy of putting something in front of them. It's thinking about what your message is the message that you're putting in front of them by using some of these internet pixels, cookies, tricks, whatever you want to call them. Is it attracting the audience? So we can talk all day about the tech of it, but our message is important as well, and our brand is important. And
ultimately, it still comes down to marketing 101, right? Yep. AIDA, attention, interest, desire, and action. You can go back to marketing books from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago and find that attention, interest, desire, and action type of thing. So you ultimately still have to have the right ad copy. You have to have the right visuals. You have to have the right call to action. You have to have people that are engaged. They get to put your message in front of the people who should be reacting to that or interested in that. So one last thing on Listing Booster, and this isn't a Listing Booster call, and I feel like I keep going to it, but just the best demonstrated practice with this. Look, if you are running paid ads to your Listing Booster pages, we talk about this a lot, Fish, turn that forced opt-in off, right? So, because basically what you're doing is, let's say you're running a lead ad to this. You're grabbing someone information on lead ads, boom, you're shooting it out into Listing Booster, then you're forcing them to grab their information again. So Facebook doesn't like that. We've seen and heard many people not many, but a handful of people losing their lead ads account, their ability to do lead ads because of that. So it doesn't mean they can't run ads, just that lead ads functionality. Other thing with lead ads, just be real careful. I spoke to our Facebook rep last week, especially with real estate. They're just being really, really careful with the privacy piece of it. Part of the things with lead ads is you're saying that you're not gathering information to resell it to somebody, right? Or to send it to a third party.
Yep.
So
we see those blocked messages, and it's always about third party data when someone's getting their account shut down or blocked.
Yep. So make sure you're keeping that stuff in house, as much as possible. So look, we use systems like Agent Legend, right? To do it, so, or to send it out. But remember that's yours. You're not sending that to a third party to go ahead and basically they don't want you reselling stuff from lead ads. So all right, cool. So let's see. One last thing as far as data goes, the Axiom data. You can actually sign up for an account with them and buy data and then upload it to a custom audience. So I haven't done it yet. I haven't signed up with them. I want to check it out though. See how much the data costs and see. But again, it's one of those things that if we're doing that, let's say we're buying the data from them for our audiences because we're trying to attract veterans or we're trying to attract USDA or first-time home buyers. Well, everyone else is using the Facebook data, and we're going out here and buying this data over here. It's just a little more of a highly targeted audience. So that's a theory. That's a hypothesis. Right? I haven't tested it, haven't run it yet. I don't know for a fact if that's going to work. But I have a strong feeling that
I already looked into it. You can buy, some of the stuff people keep talking about. You can buy, renter data, data for people that are likely to move, and you can easily export that into your Facebook custom audiences. So even if, like you said, if the categories go away, okay, so let's go somewhere else, and we can still get the data and upload it as a custom audience and or make a lookalike audience from there.
So we got a quick question here. What's your best strategy for generating long-form leads, and where do you discuss or train on this? So this isn't a sales pitch, but we do that in Leads Academy. Our best strategy for building long-form leads is what we just said. It's building the audience using inexpensive Zillow Killer. God, I hate that name. I hate the fact that it's taken that. We call it Zillow Killer, Zillow strategy, lead ads. Building up that audience using the low cost or no cost groups, group postings, marketplace costing, or marketplace ads, sharing our leads ads in group, getting people to opt in, and then retargeting those people with the traditional long-form mortgage lead.
So you're starting out with getting people that are interested in houses, and then you're putting a mortgage ad in front of them. because we know that the stats are that folks that just go out there to Google looking for mortgage information, literally like 20 to 30 to 1 as far as mortgage versus real estate. So we already know that. It actually makes a ton of sense to add one more step, like you said, and let's start out with the people that are already looking at houses. Then out of those people, we'll pay to serve them the mortgage ads out of that audience that's kind of gone one step down in the funnel. Now, I don't know if she was referring to what kind of ads are you using or what kind of landing pages that you're using. I guess maybe you could comment on that a little bit too, TJ.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a secret, right? Like, so for me, I like USDA. I target USDA. I got about 45 minutes north of me. I have a good USDA area. But any type of it's got to be something different, in my opinion. I just don't think putting out a conventional 5% down with MI, ad is going to. It's not sexy. It doesn't attract people. Doesn't get people interested. So you've got to have something that will interest people.
What do we always say when we do just mortgage ads? You end up getting people that are rate shoppers or bad credit, unless you really target it, or attracted the right audience.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So, but it's got to be something. Down payment assistance. If your company has a unique program, if you have a grant program, if you have something that differentiates you from your competition, that's a great ad to run. But it also has to be something that, I always say, use the term sexy. It's got to be something that when someone's scrolling through Facebook, it grabs their attention and it'll interest them. So getting off topic here, one of the things that we talk about with your ads is Google is an intent-driven ad. Someone goes to Google and says, first-time home buyer programs in Maryland, right? What's the best mortgage company to buy a house with for first-time home buyers? Something like that. That is intent. Facebook is a billboard. Someone's scrolling through and you got to grab their attention, right? You're trying to put your message in front of the right people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're sitting on their sofa that night watching America's Got Talent while they're scrolling through their Facebook feed on their phone looking for information about a house or a mortgage. Does that make sense, Fish? Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit different. So we just have to make sure, again, we're putting, that we have some type of message that grabs their attention, that makes them stop their scroll and want to go ahead and learn more. So, good. That is helpful. So, all right. What else we want to talk about? So another quick way to build up an audience, video view ads, right? Build up an audience, build up a brand. So very inexpensive, 1 cent to 5 cents per view, right? Based upon, how long they view. Great way to build your brand. Talk about different things that are going on around your area, in the mortgage world, in the real estate world, whatever it is. But people get to know your face, get to know your brand, get to know who you are. And what do you do with that? Once you start seeing people watching your videos, going a little bit longer in your videos, you retarget them. It becomes part of your audience. You go after them.
What I've seen some folks do is take those ads that they were running from a page that wasn't necessarily all about them and all about mortgages, that was perhaps more about the houses or real estate of the community, and capture, like you said, that pixel and make that audience. And then when they run the second round of ads, the ads that are more related to the mortgage person or the mortgage company's brand, then they run that ad from a different page, from the mortgage LO or the mortgage company page, and they start building the familiarity with the brand from that page. As opposed to going out there first and trying to build a brand as a mortgage person, they're trying to build an audience of people that are involved with the community looking at houses. Then that audience, they are retargeting with a little bit more specific mortgage information and mortgage branding with either videos or print ads.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, again, it all goes back to marketing 101. Mm-hmm. We need to make sure that people know who you are. You always talk about the rocket. Right? We get bombarded every single day, TV and radio, about the rocket. We hear about it all the time. Mm-hmm. So, of course, consumers are familiar with that. Build your brand locally as well. Make sure people know who you are. When we talk about building a brand, it can be you as a personality. It can be your company. It can be your business page. It can be you and your real estate partners, whatever it is. But build it and stick to it, right? So people, again, they're comfortable with who you are, and they get to know, like, and trust you before you even met them. Mm-hmm. That takes a big chunk of the sales process out of there. If someone's already comfortable with you and knows who you are. Do you agree?
Yeah, I don't think I've added it to our YouTube channel. And by the way, guys, we have a YouTube channel. It's in the info section. You might want to check out some of the other recordings we've done here. But I may add it to our YouTube channel. It was a recording we did with Ian a long time ago, right before we started this group, and we were talking with Ian about some of the success that he's had. Again, not a sales pitch, but Ian has been with us in our programs for a while, and he's followed the recipes fairly well and implemented and done a lot of things that we learned from.
Been more successful than us doing it.
Exactly. He's already passed the teacher in many cases. But Ian has built that brand around his page, just like we mentioned. It started with properties. He flipped it over this page, and he has agents in his market, which is a decent sized market, constantly saying, man, everywhere I go, I see you guys. And he converted that into a lot of face-to-face relationships where he's inviting agents to events and things like that. But agents and buyers, they constantly see his branch's ad from his branch's page, and he's still branding all the people on his team as he goes. So it's something that you start putting all these pieces together. It's not just the one ad. It's not just the one video. It's not the one branding attempt. It's a combined effort that builds a solid foundation for marketing.
Right, absolutely. I mean, think about, just from the video, I don't care what you do. Let's say you're a core guy or mortgage marketing animals or whatever it is, our lifeblood is real estate agents, right? So if you're running a video and you're spending, I don't care, $5 a week, $10 a week on it, and you're just talking about, different cool stuff, but you're targeting that video to realtors, your local real estate agents, when you call them to have a conversation with them, they already know who you are, right? And you're already interacting with them via Facebook. Mm-hmm. And it makes that call much easier because you're calling a friend or they're getting a call from someone they perceive to be a friend, even though they may not have ever met you.
Yep.
Type of thing. So
some of the folks that are like, oh, I don't do leads. I just work with realtors. I promise you guys, if you combine some of these strategies with your real estate agent efforts, it becomes a whole lot easier to build your brand. They've already seen you a billion times. They watch your face over and over again.
Yeah, you're not doing leads, but you're still leveraging and utilizing this awesome technology that's available to you to get your face and your name and your brand out there. So when you make your 40 calls on a Monday, they're like, hey, man, I saw your video. It was awesome, type of thing. So, but very simple, very inexpensive way to go ahead and build your name, build your brand, build your audience, and you can target whatever you want. You can target consumers, you can target real estate agents, you can target loan officers. If you're trying to recruit, so much cool stuff that you can do with that. So, all right, man. So we've been on about half hour. So we just want to touch base. The last thing I have for you is if you're getting leads, make sure you're following up with them. Doesn't matter what you're doing, how you're doing it. Make sure you're following up with them. Most of the people that we know that had success are awesome at follow-up, or they've hired someone that's awesome at follow-up, right? Most of the people we know that struggle get a lead and send an email. They're like, the guy never called me back. I email every lead automatically, but no one's ever reached out to me. So make sure that you're text messaging every single lead. Make sure you send out some type of text message. It's your best response.
You've gone pretty deep on that. I mean, I know you've used Keith a little bit in the ABA team, and you've got scripts, and again, not a sales pitch, but in Leads Academy. And I know that bought pretty much every coaching program that's available for less than $1,000 in America. But no matter how many times we try to come up with a different method, it's staying in front of folks, making contacts as quickly as possible, an initial hit, and just keeping yourself out there and giving them a chance to reach out to you when they're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So I use Ava. I love Ava. My lead conversion has increased significantly since starting to use Ava, because they are, they're just text messaging for 2 weeks for me, and they're getting deep into conversation. So I can go ahead and refer that out to a real estate agent who's actually interested, or a lead that's actually interested versus sending a lead out to a real estate agent and counting on them to do that much follow-up or myself to do that much follow-up. So, but there's a price to be paid for it. To me, well worth it. Well worth every stinking penny. So it's $300 for 100 leads. Well worth it. But if anyone's interested in it, let me know. I think we get like $50 off the first month. or something like that. So, but just let us know. But it's similar to agenticology. Everyone's familiar with agenticology, except Ava just does text messaging.
Well, and you've got an Agent Legend kind of discount program.
Agent Legend we like as well. Agent Legend kind of does an automation in there. So I think we actually, if anyone's interested, I think I have 3 accounts available for $100. It's $200 for an account, but I bought them in a block and I had 3 people back out on it. So if anyone's interested in Agent Legend, $100 a month, we get you Agent Legend. Just let us know. I'd appreciate that. So I'm not paying for accounts that aren't being used. But it's just that some type of follow-up, any type of follow-up, it's important. I mean, it's what our good friends, that we learned a lot of this from. Chad Prio, Johnny Fowler, Peckman, what they do better than anybody else.
FU money. They call it FU money.
Follow up. They follow up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is. One lead, you don't need 100 leads, right? You need 20. You're going to have much more success calling 20 leads 10 times than 100 leads 2 times. Mm-hmm. So, plus you save yourself a bunch of money.
Well, plus those guys combine which is becoming a very popular technique. I've read about it in all kinds of different chat forums, that concept of having multiple types of interaction. So they've got, the text, the email, the video, the agents reaching out, but they got the system reaching out as well. So they're
multi-source communication.
Yeah, multi-source communication.
Yep. Agent Legend does that. Agent Legend will send a text message, leave the voicemail, send the email. That if you have your real estate agent calling as well, and then if you call, I mean, you can hit someone 15 to 20 times over the first 3 or 4 days until they tell you to go pound sand.
They either say move forward or F you. Well, it's just follow-up money, right? Not
follow-up money. So, it's just, but that's the key. Everyone wants to know what the secret is to lead generation. Lead generation, are there certain ways to do it? Yup. Can you learn on your own? Yup. Can people like us reduce your learning curve? Yup. Absolutely. Can people like Nick Carpenter or Bobby Stocks go ahead and just take and generate leads and give you the leads themselves? Yup.
And DJ, he's solid.
Yep. Oh yeah, super solid. Like that's my bad. I should have put DJ at the top of that list. He's our boy. But ultimately, it just comes down to the effort you put into work the lead. The more effort you put in, the more conversion you happen, the luckier you get. It's that simple. So, but all right, man. Anything else? Questions, comments, third gestures, Fish?
Yeah, we got to the point where we're starting rambling like we sometimes do. So we'll let you guys get back. If you want any more information, just hit us up. Maybe I'll post something on this thread. But this wasn't really supposed to be an infomercial. It was more trying to give you guys some more inspiration, some higher level thoughts, some tips and tricks that will help you as you're running ads, trying to promote your branch, build your brand, build your audiences, and more importantly, staying ahead of the curve for things that we know are coming. When we know changes are coming, we know everybody's trying to come at us and automate our business. Well, heck, if we can automate our marketing and we can build local audiences, local people, we know from all of the research we do, they prefer to work with us. The problem is they're not seeing us because they're still going online. So if we can get in front of people online, shake hands with them, meet them, and let them know we're local. Heck, we don't always have to meet them. Sometimes we see them at closing. Sometimes we see them in the office, which I think we should at least once. But we increase our chances of building a long-term local referral-based business. I know that's not all your models. That's my model. But I think that's a place where we can win. Meet them online, meet them in person, and they're going to work with you. I promise you.
So, all right, cool. Real quick, got one more question here. Ava versus Agent Legend. I use both. I prefer Ava just because I know it's a live human being sending out the text messages, and if someone responds, they get that interaction going, and it can be customized type of thing. Agent Legend, awesome system, but you program it to do one thing, and that's what it does, right? So for me, I just think Ava's better, and it's worth the $200 extra a month, or $100 extra per month if you're paying for the $200 Agent Legend plan. So that's it. Fish, thanks, man. Guys, I'm sorry. I know I'm not as active as MLO Net as I should be, but just like everyone else, man, I'm trying to run a business.
Trying to run a branch.
Trying to run a branch, trying to run a business, all that kind of fun stuff.
I heard a rumor that you had a pretty good month this month, so congrats on your good month. And
so, in balanced family, and
right, and you're helping us with MMBC behind the scenes. You got over 100 people in Leeds Academy, dude. You're doing it all. You're a rock star.
Anyway, just trying to help out, man. So anyone needs us, hit us up. So Fish, thanks, cool, MLO Net. Thank you. Appreciate everything you guys do. Awesome job. Just love this group. Love the camaraderie and the pay it forward attitude that so many people have.
Last thing I want to drop here. I always cut you off in the end. Is if you think of things that we could potentially do in MLO Net to help you guys that are not impossible to pull off, but are just some simple tweaks and ideas, feel free to let us know. Hit us up on Messenger. I mean, even put a post out there. You see me put a lot of posts and polls. I'm really just trying to gather data so that we can try to create a community that fosters growth and brings change in the LO community, because I know a lot of us really want to see strong LOs in the future. And
let us know who you want to talk to, topics that you're interested in. We've had a pretty good track record of getting some pretty cool people on these success story hangout over the years. I mean, I know MLO Net's only 8 months old, but we've been running these success series for 3 years now. So any subjects, topics, people you want us to bring on board, let us know.
I've had some folks reach out. I mean, like, for example, Rene Rodriguez said he might want to join us soon. I think Karen Dice is interested in hopping on. A handful of folks you guys all know. Sam Parker said he might want to come back. I think Drew Brents is up to come again. I got some really killer Branch and Scotsman LOs that said they're probably interested in coming up in the next few months. I'm begging Clayton Schmeisser to come on. He's afraid of camera, but I think I'm going to get him soon. So
you look like Clayton. I'd be afraid of the camera too, man.
So if you think of something that's going to bring value to the community, just let us know. We'll see what we can do to help you guys out. That's all we got, man.
All right, let's go originate some loans. So.